Buenos nachos. Oh, what kind of cheese is nachos? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher Thursday. Today's Wednesday, September the 28th. September the 28th. September's almost over. 2022. Time, 3:15. Let's get it popping. Today's show comes with a severe warning. This is not a new believer show. If you're a new believer, get the beep off my line. You already know the deal. You got to be a grown-ass man and a grown-ass woman man to understand the hidden secrets of Abracadabra. I create what I speak. So do you. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on who you talk to and where you're at, you may or may not understand the statement. So today we want to get into the science and the metaphysics behind over understanding your mental disposition that, as we've been saying in pretty much every show, and as we're going to go deeper into on October the 3rd. So I need everybody to join me, put that on your calendar as well, so that way you can over understand that I'm so happy and grateful now that I am wealthy, healthy, wise, in a great relationship with myself, with my source, and with others. Just by simply making that state, I establish that mental disposition. This is how you manipulate reality. The Egyptians taught the Atlanteans, well, we can go back further. The Anunnakis taught the Egyptians, who were kind of part Egyptians, or who made the Egyptians, or who manipulated the humanoid or the hominoid that became the worker class or the Ajiji. And the Ajiji was taught the energetic qualities that allows them to operate in the Rose Cross, which is the ability to utilize their spiritual centers to unfold consciousness or reality by connecting with the three aspects of the mind. And it is through this process of using self-observation, self-consciousness and awareness, and self-perception that allows one to manipulate the unseen realm by using thought. And so the Atlanteans taught the Rosicrucians, who, the word Rosicrucians, the secret order of the Rosicrucians, the esoteric hidden secrets of Rosicrucianism, which is another way of looking at how the dynamic order of the Golden Dawn uses the metaphysical laws that govern the universe to their advantage, for lack of a better term. And so these laws that govern the universe, as we've been talking about, as I talk about pretty much on every show, every ascended master and everyone on the planet net who wrap their brain around the Gnosticism or the Egyptian or Egyptology or hermeneutics. So depending on where you go, it has a different term, a different label, but it's still the original foundation of over understanding how the universe works according to this secretive alchemical mysticism. And it is this secret alchemical mysticism that is only passed down through certain secret societies because it's ostracized by traditional rely on. And so these groups, specifically the Societas of the Rosicrucian, it's spelled Rosicruciania. So it's not necessarily the modern day Rosicrucianism or the unfolding of the Rose Cross. It has been elevated, if you want to use that term. But remember, it still comes from the Anunnaki, from those who came down and unfolded consciousness. So unfolding consciousness is what I do for a living. And this is what I'm teaching you. It's the ability to use Abracadabra. I create as I speak. I create what I speak, since we are made in the image and the likeness of Source. we've been given the same capacity or the same powers, although limited, like source. And so your job and my job is to try to connect with as many of the attributes and characteristics through this process of self-awareness or observation. So everything starts with that. To the degree that you are able to establish the first order, which is awareness, observation, through this process of what we call awareness or observation, it's amazing how each and every one of us has been given this, I'm going to use this word, power. And this power allows us to operate and vibrate on a level where we are able to express, expose, and expand our God-given destiny. And if we are able to do that, then we are able to then unfold reality. And when you really, really look into this, this is the creative power that the Bible talks about of life and death. And when we talk about these powers, what we're simply talking about is that everybody, and again, I use the word power because it is. So the first thing that we have to understand is that word power. And when we really start to look at that word power, what we're doing is now we are unfolding consciousness. Unfolding consciousness is simply etymology. That's all it is. It's etymology. Let me say it again. It's etymology. Unfolding consciousness. And that once we understand this, then we are able to use our consciousness to unfold subatomic particles. These subatomic particles, they respond to your speech. Because when you understand how these subatomic particles respond to your speech, then you now become one of the gods. And the science behind how subatomic particles respond to speech, the same thing that the Bible says when the Bible says it. What does it say? Well, the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's the same thing of over understanding biological photon and biological phonon. It is these photons and these phonons that control these subatomic particles. So those frequencies that came down from heaven and interacted with man, they taught mankind Homo erectus, Homo gargantuan, Homo magnon, and all of the different types of beings that existed at that time, this unfolding of the consciousness that increases the magnetism of the brain. So you have that power to unfold your consciousness, and I have the power to unfold my consciousness. And to the degree that we can understand how to unfold our consciousness, that determines our ability to create what we speak. So when you're speaking without consciousness, without being totally aware of the intent behind the thought, then you don't have power. You can't access the spirit realm. So when you access the spirit realm, you are unfolding consciousness. Let me say it again. When you access the spirit realm, you're unfolding consciousness. So the Rosicrucians understood that. But remember, they were taught that by the Atlanteans, the Egyptians, and all of this comes down from heaven. Now, were we supposed to know that or not? Depending on who you talk to. So what we're talking about is the spiritual centers or the degrees of consciousness. So there are different degrees of consciousness. For today's message, since today's message is really an introduction to stuff that we're going to be talking about deeper as we go deeper down the road, it's his ability to understand that each and every person on this call has been given this. Whether you access the knowledge writtenly is inside of the brain. So there's three parts of the brain that controls what is called mind, objectivity, mind subjectivity, and mind superconsciousness. Now, we're not going to teach or get into the deeper stuff that, like some of the Freemasons, what is taught in Masonry. What I want to teach is spiritual cognition, precognition. And we talked about this before. This is the ability for you to establish what is called digestible cognitive abilities. The ability for you to digest cognitive reality and what is called energetic qualities. So when you meet somebody, they are expressing their energetic qualities. Whether they know it or not, right now you are expressing your energetic qualities. And it is these energetic qualities that energize. And so you are a energetic being. That just simply means that you are showing the characteristics of a high level of energy. You are expressing a high level of energy. Right now you are expressing a high level of energy. Whether you know that or not, because we're not talking about physical, we're talking about mental. So the first thing to understand is these energetic qualities that you are expressing right now. But everything starts when you're able to consciously convert that energetic expression into a useful form of energy. This is the thermodynamic free energy that I was talking about, which is a precursor to engineering. Meaning, before we talk about protons, neutrons, and electrons, there's a precursor to that. And the secret order of the Rose Cross has written thousands of documents, not only in the Thylemmic Order of the Golden Dawn, which I was a part of, but in the Freemasons, all secret societies, they unfold consciousness. And the way that they unfold consciousness is by using the Rose Cross, which simply is a term that able to unfold an unfolded cross is a cube. So they use sacred geometry. They use shapes because shape control function. Your brain is manipulated by circles and squares, letters and logos. This is called runes. So we all understand the runic magic, but it does something to the cerebrum, to the cerebellum, and to the medulla oblongata. And it is these three energetic centers that express or control the three in one. So you are spirit, you have soul that manifests through body, but they're all controlled by shapes and sounds and letters and frequencies and waves and vibrations. This is all of the part of the hidden esoteric secret of the Rose Cross. So the Rose Cross or the Rosicrucians, they understood that whatever you speak, you spell. Speaking is spelling. So you are casting a spell with every time you speak. It's called grammar casting. So they were expert grammar casters. So are you. The only difference is we're not taught of the significance of the grammar that is casting the spell. So that's what I'm doing right now. Right now I am doing grammatus. I'm just overstanding. So a higher level initiate, they don't speak because they understand that when they speak, they're creating it. So they ask themselves before they speak it, do they want to give birth to it? So I don't want to give birth to poverty, so I would never speak poverty. I don't want to give birth to confusion, so I would never speak confusion. I don't want to give birth to my problems, my circumstances, to sickness, to disease, to ignorance, to bad relations, so I would never speak. I don't give a fuck if it exists or not. I didn't create it, meaning I'm not going to feed it. So nothing can come to you unless it's the vibrational equivalent of you. It can pass, it can attempt to manipulate you, to get you to come down or up to its frequency. If you choose not to come down or up, it will pass. The problem is we buy it by reacting to it. Whenever you read, that word means to return. Act means drama or play. Bam, you just bought it. Anytime you give your attention to it, you just bought it. So my job and your job is to understand that I can manipulate my reality with my mentality. So every day, I don't give a fuck what's going on in reality. I am happy. Happy means you can make shit happen. You cannot be happy if you're not making shit happen. So your job is to make shit happen with your brain. That's how you manipulate reality, with the precursor to everything that's taught on this planet. So what I'm talking about is not taught. Everybody just starts with the effect, not the cause. So you go to the doctor, they treat the effect. They don't treat what caused your high blood pressure. They just give you a pill to lessen the symptoms of the high blood pressure or whatever. So that's what we're doing also on October the 3rd. On October the 3rd, I'm giving you the cause of leads. How do you get people to buy your shit? Well, we got to break down the hidden, secret, esoteric hook. You're like a fish. By the time the fish swallows the hook, too fucking late. The shit's embedded inside of its flesh. He can't get off your line. If you understand how to hook, which we break down on October 3rd. So everybody, that's why I can do what I do every day. I'm looking at my numbers today. And even though it's only 2%, but I actually thought that I was making less money than I did last year. And I looked at it every month and I was like, man, it's crazy because the amount per transaction has dropped significantly, but the number of transactions has increased significantly, which simply means that what I wanted to do, what I ordered, is happening, which is I'm selling more 1995 stuff that I am selling, if you want to use that term, 100, 200, like this show, is a precursor for October the 3rd, which is $249 for non-people who didn't take the last class, and $199 for people who took the last class and the class before. So I'm selling less, which is true, of those than I am selling my TikTok videos, which is promoting my 1995 audiobooks. So it shows the numbers. People lie. Numbers don't. So I look at the numbers. So I need to teach you how to look at the numbers. Why? Because you're lying to yourself. So I make sure, what is this called though? What is this called? What am I doing? I'm unfolding my fucking reality. How am I unfolding it? Did I call TD Jakes, Crypto Dollar, my guru? Fuck no. I looked at my numbers. Numbers don't lie, man. People do. That is what? That's called self-observation. It's crazy. This is magic. When I thought about magic and the miracles and shit, I thought about some mystical shit. I didn't know it was just observation. Just paying attention. Because it's not free. Nobody can do this. That's why I'm a high-level magician. I'm one of the high. That's why people call me all the time and they be telling me to do it. I say, man, I ain't into that shit. They say, no, bro, you've been doing that shit. Like you one of the highest level freaking Satanists and witches and wizards. They fucking call me. They text me, invite me to ask me questions and stuff. How to get rid of this dude and that dude. I said, man, I don't deal with that shit because I chose not to see it. I chose to remove it. So I don't give a fuck what's out there. Because there's a lot of invisible frequency waves and vibrations that choose not to incarnate in the flesh. And you deal with them like all the plant deities, which is why I don't take psychotropic drugs, which is why I don't drink, which is why I don't smoke marijuana, which is why I don't wear skinny jeans. Because when, I don't know if y'all know about fabric. You can ask my daughter. She's an expert in fabric. You can't put certain fabric next to your wee-wee, bruh. You can't. Like, do the research on the man, shit's Everything has an underlying esoteric meaning. You can't scratch your ass if everything has a meaning to it. Just because you don't know what it means doesn't mean it doesn't mean it. And so grammar casting is the secret science of casting a mental disposition that changes quarks, quinons, and muons that make up protons, neutrons, and electrons. So I deal with subatomic particles like all of the ancients. That's how I unfold my reality. But it all starts with taking a cube, which is a folded cross. So I unfold the cube into a rose-colored cross. That is the dream brain. That is what is called manipulating the 12 centers of consciousness. So each one of the 12 centers of consciousness, they are degrees of consciousness, just like the Freemasons. Now, the reason this shit is secret is because the church demonized anybody who teaches it. So they went underground. So if you go and you join a secret society, you can be like, damn, that's the same thing Brother Will have been teaching. That's why when I had my coffee shop, the niggas came in there rolling about 15 deep because they was pissed the fuck off because I was teaching their shit. And you can't teach their stuff unless you're only teaching it to an initiate. And you of a specific degree. If not, you violating their little oath and you took a vow that you wouldn't do that. And if you're caught doing it, you're supposed to disembowel yourself. Just like the samurai would fall on their sword if they went out to battle. And this is inner magic and personal power. Now, because we're not taught inner magic, we don't know that energy is lost and gained on your personal level every day, which is why I keep my own personal promise to my personal self, because this is the most highly regarded secret of all times. What I'm telling you right now, Negroes could lose their life over, because you take a vow that you would disembowel yourself if you share this with the Goyim. That's the Negroes that are not initiated. They call black folks pigs. At least the Jews do. So I'll just explain to you the secret of all secrets. That's how you unfold reality. Now I just gave you step one. So nobody can be in a state or place where they don't want to be, unless you're not doing step one. Again, self-observation. That's magic. Now you should be saying the same thing when I learned this shit. Like the most powerful chant or spell is I am. And when you say I am happy, what you're saying is, and I reposted a TikTok of this other guy who's a preacher like me, got the fuck out, just like I did, when he finally figured the shit out. Like they only teach this shit at the high level. Only when you come a 33rd degree and go higher, then you find out that the two are one. And it fucks your brain up. Because all your life you believe Jesus is Lord. So that's why I don't teach this shit to Christians. Because again, you cannot expose somebody to the truth until they're ready. Thankfully, all Christians have a sword that the Bible talks about. When they kicked Adam and Eve out of the garden, they put an angel there with a flaming sword. That represents the reticular activating system. That according to the recent Harvard study, the brain receives over 200,000 bits of information per second, but it can only process 2,000. Let me say it again. According to science, that's over 2,000, comma, but the brain can only process 2, comma. So it's like you get 200 pieces of information, but you can only process two things. So the reticular activating system chooses for you based upon your belief system. That's why you can't tell a Christian shit. They can't biologically understand you. It's not their fault. They are biologically. That's why somebody that's programmed, Groundhog Day, can't fucking help that person. You just get the fuck out the way. Why? That mother, he got to crash and burn. He got to keep doing that shit until he gets tired and changes his belief. How do you change the belief? Self-awareness. Nothing happens until you stop. Turn the light on yourself. And what happens is you start to measure the form of energy that is being used in a very unproductive manner. So you really examine the content of the thermodynamic free energy expenditure, which simply means you pissing in the fucking wind. Now you don't know it because you just, when you spend it, when you're young, dumb, full of calm, y'all remember that? That just simply means that the energy quality is not at ease. That just simply means, now remember, we're talking about converting your current qualities into useful work. Because you got it. You just pissing it away. You got money. You can't. God don't make jokes, man. Nobody's broke. Nobody's dumb. Nobody's ignorant. Nobody's bad. Nobody's poor. All this is a fucking illusion. But the problem is, energy quality is a measure of ease, which the form of energy can be converted into a useful ergon or work. So thermodynamics simply means that you have a system of energy transference where it can hold cisterns, like it talks about in the book of Jeremiah, when it says that you have broken cisterns and you can't hold water. They teach that in all of the esoteric. They teach thermodynamics, or what is called free energy. You are a free energy device. But we don't know that. So the higher quality of your energy, the higher quality of your content. The only difference between me and the average out of keep it on is I got a higher quality of energy. So I can express my energy in a very refined manner. Now, I didn't say intellectual. I know a bunch of educated Negroes is broke as fuck. So that ain't got shit to do with going to Harvard and Yale and Princeton. It's a fucking waste of time. Why? It has nothing to do. That's entropy. That is what they call tropic levels. Every organism occupies a certain level. And there is what is called a chain of succession. The chain of succession. That just simply means that there is a specific chain by which you are supposed, or a specific hierarchy. So the energy quality follows a pre-arrangement. As above, so below. That just simply means that at the same level as another, there's a hierarchy, or there's an architecture, there is a philosophy, there's a design, there is music, there is mathematics, there is a seance, there is a saying that is based upon what is called organizational theory, which is called systematics or system theory. This is taught in secret societies. They call it thermoeconomics. So your economics, which is thought, controls what they call statistics or statistical physics. So the physics of your economic value is expressed by thought. That's what I do. Now, that's a fancy way of saying is that you thinking, but you're thinking too low. You. This is why I tell all women. I be begging you, y'all ladies, man. It's hard talking to females. It really is. It is fucking for me because I can see you. I was just talking to a potential client that just really have been beat down so long in a bad marriage that I had to walk the fuck away and shit, give her money back. I was getting depressed. She was so fucked up in the head, it's sad. Because her potential of thermal energy, which is a form that depends upon the holder's temperature to create what is called potential energy. So this is physics. Physics is magic. That's why all the greats are mathematicians. The universe, I thought, man, God is numbers. This shit is crazy. I just sit here in my office and I just think, because I say that, damn, the average Negro has no fucking idea of the methods of evaluating and elevating his own quality of energy. There's a hierarchy to this thing, man, but it's physics. Physics show your energy quality in a physical chemical science. That's what this basically is. It's the ability for you to understand, because you got unlimited energy. You cannot, because energy can't be destroyed. It can't be created. So that means you can't dissipate energy. How the fuck are you tired? You just think you are because somebody told you are. You can't be tired. Tired is a mental disposition. Tired is a state of mind. So when that's how Navy SEALs use mind over matter. Like my boy that, what's that guy, the Goggins dude, the black dude that be running out of marathons and stuff. He used to be, 180 pounds. He lost all his weight. The only guy that went through all of the militaries. He started off in the Navy, then he was Marines, then he went to Air Force. And he knocked them all out. Like nothing. And the fool runs like shit. I don't know. He runs like a damn marathon a day. He do crazy shit. He's like the black version of Wim Hof. Like Wim Hof, how the fuck you swim underneath the ice? You go in there and you freaking die in a minute. This dude stayed down there for 30 minutes. Because he understands energy is controlled by state of mind. So you can understand the term thermal energy that the engineers use. It means internal energy. So let me say it again. There's different types of energy transfer. Energy is transferred. So when somebody dies, the energy is transferred. That's why I'm able to function after my daughter died. I know the energy transferred. Now, I may not know where it transferred to, but I know it just transferred. So that gives me solace, because I know one day my energy is going to transfer. But I get to determine where it transferred to. If you pick the game if you die unconscious, you got to come back and get conscious. So what I'm teaching you today, we start October the 3rd on some fucking deep shit. Now, after October the 3rd, those 7 days, your life should fucking change, especially your finances. Because what we're talking about is, the first thing is we're breaking down is the secret of esoteric hooks. This has nothing to do with advertising. It has nothing to do with everything on the internet. So I'm going to give you the secrets that all the hidden society do. Because what they do is they're like fishing. So notice the hook when you go fishing is hidden in the bait. So I got to give you bait. So that when you go fishing, when you post your video on TikTok, people don't see the video. They see the energetic bait. So we got to teach you in energy embedding. Because you don't know how to embed your energy in your video, you fucked. Why? You're just making videos. Now, I really don't technically want to teach this, but the way the current society is going, the dominant culture, they're trying to destroy the infrastructure. There's a possibility that one day the fucking internet may not even exist. So if the internet doesn't exist, it doesn't matter for you because you know magic now. Now you are a magi. So now you can embed your energy so that way, even if the internet goes down, you still live somewhere. You still got neighbors. The neighbors are going to be attracted to you because they ain't going to know what to do, and you are. And your energy, if all the power goes out, and everybody says, what the fuck we going to do, man? We got no life. You're going to be the only one in your whole neighborhood, and all 20 people going to come over there. They ain't got no money, but they got to bring you some potatoes. They got to bring you some corn. The guy who know how to fix plumbing, he got to come over there and fix your what? There has to be an exchange. We'll go back to bartering. Why? Because now you're the magi. You're the magician. A magician is someone who can unfold consciousness. And he unfolds it by using subatomic particles. Everybody else is on the protons, neutrons, and electrons. You on quarks, quinons, and muons. You are Hebrews 11:3. So now you understand that the world is framed. So you can frame worlds. You control the world. And the way that you control it is, number one, and this is, man, like I said, I don't even know if we should go this deep. Okay, let's do it. You got to understand that power is a spiritual thing, but it is expressed as a physical thing. So power is a real thing that exists. It's the prince, he's over the power in the air. So if you can figure out how to get the power out of the air, like we talked about yesterday, which is a precursor to engineering, that my boy, again, Tom Bearden figured out. Tesla and a lot of dudes figured it out. So now it's your turn to figure it out. So your job is to understand that there is for me, it's fun. And it's a very simple way of playing with power. Excuse me. And controlling power. Something as simple as taking your hands together, making it clap and rubbing it. When you rub your palms together in your hands, really, really fast, you feel a warm feeling. So my hands feel really warm. And if I place that anywhere on my body, I'm transferring it. You can do this right now. You can take your hands together, clap, rub your hands together about 10, 20 seconds, and then stop. And then if you hold your hands about 2 inches apart, away from each other, you're going to feel a tingling in your fingers. But if you take your palms in your hands and you let's say you got lower back pain, and you rub your hands together, like Chinese do this Qigong, yoga, all this stuff. Okay, I'm not really teaching it. That's also great. It does work. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just using that as an example. So the same way that you rub your hands together, you got to rub thoughts together. It's the same thing that works physically. Everything that you do in the physical, now you got to do in the mental. So I got two opposing thoughts. My job is to remove the two opposing thoughts. So the best acronym mantra that I found is, I am happy. That tells my brain, I make shit happen. So happiness is not a feeling. Happiness is a fucking action. You get up, I make something happen. What do I make happen? Fold my bed. Fold the blankets up. Make my bed. I just made that happen. My brain said, ooh-wee. I go in there and I brush my teeth. I make something happen. I feed the dog. Wash my face. I exercise. Send out videos. All day I'm making stuff happen. So my brain says, oh shit, we happy. And I am grateful. I like the word, when I go outside for sometimes only a minute, sometimes 5 minutes, and I just sit there in the sun, my feet hit the ground, and I'm so thankful that I'm alive. That's magic. Because what the brain is picking up when you do that, remember we talked about the first key to unfolding the 12 gates or the 12 centers. They're called spiritual centers or degrees of consciousness. Is the first, number one thing is you got to activate the brain through what is called the cerebrum, and then you got to activate the cerebellum, and then you got to activate the medulla oblongata. Now, obviously we can't break down all three of these, but I want to give you the first because we're going to be breaking this down in more detail in a later course when I get into more of the hidden esoteric secrets of all secret societies. And that is, how do you manipulate reality by using the precursor or precursor engineering. Now remember what engineering is simply image nearing. So imaging, which is imagining. So engineering simply means imagining. So it's not, they made it very numbers oriented and they made it difficult, like chemistry. They divided one thing into 118 things so that way the average nigga can't figure it the fuck out. So you take chemistry, you're like, damn shit, this is hard. Say that with biology, say that with music. Everything is complicated about the dominant culture. All we got to do is now uncomplicate it. Make it simple. Abracadabra, I create what I speak. So at the base, nothing comes out of your fucking mouth you don't want to hold in your hands. That's it. It's very simple. Now remember, I'm explaining it because you can't do it. Could you imagine, I would like for everybody to try tomorrow to go all day without saying and thinking long term. That means more than 2 or 3 minutes. A negative thought or a negative feeling. See if you can do it. It is almost impossible. When I woke up this morning, because I had a weird dream, so I had a weird feeling. And it took me about a minute to notice it. I went there, I brushed my teeth, I went to the bathroom, went to the mirror, and I looked at myself in the mirror, turned the water on, rinsed off the toothbrush, put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, and it was just here, and then I was like, hold up. Why are you feeling? We don't do those. You know, then I immediately said, I'm so happy. I am so thankful. Now that I am in the house that nobody said that I could get. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful. I am. That's why this morning, you saw my video on Facebook. I did a Facebook Live for about 15 seconds. That's what I was doing. I came back, I was happy as fuck. Got on the treadmill, had one of the best workouts I had. Shit, I was running like an African in the fucking wild, running from a lion. My heart rate was up. I was in there joking around, laughing at the wife, making fun of her, walking around yelling. She was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I told her I'm happy. She said, well, shit, what happened? Let me in on the joke. I'm like, nothing. I just went rolling. What really happened, and I told her later, she kind of got pissed off. I asked her, when I got her up, to say, you want anything? Because I already know she likes tacos, but she gets up at 5 a.m. and she's stuck on the phone. Because she's a supervisor now. And so she does a lot of training with the company, United Healthcare, teaching them, like coding and all that other stuff. So I said, okay, no problem. I'll go grab some tacos. There's other spots she likes, but there's this skinny young black kid that I'm banned from going there anymore. But I'll be sneaking on that super kill watching. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Triple chocolate. Sister, Goddess of the West, don't tell her triple chocolate. So that's just, and it's crazy because the girl can't be no more than 20, 21. Man, I go out there in my vet. J Money is crazy. She leans out the window. Hey, how you doing? And, these right there. Like, these young girls, man, it's crazy. And these like, you better ever go back over there without me. And she makes it known. So the day I went out, and there was this Hispanic lady there. She was an older Hispanic lady, and she started talking to me in Spanish. So I took the Eddie, I could have used you today for Eddie. But I could tell by her body language, her facial expressions, and her mannerisms, and whatever the fuck she was saying, it was, what's your name? Can I get the digits? And I just started laughing, saying, no habla español, no habla español. And she just started laughing. She said, Paquito? I said, no. I said, no, because she said, just a little bit. And then she started saying, and she was pointing at the car. So I already knew. And she's like, oh, no, she just kept talking in Spanish. And I told her, I don't really understand. So she went, got a co-worker, came back to the window. And she said, my friend just said that she likes your car and she wants to know if you're married. And I was like, well, yeah, well, I'm not married, but she's married to me. So I tell Dee this all the time, and she get pissed off. And it's funny because it's like, come on, be real. But what's the point? I woke up, my energy was low. So what did I do? I made shit happen. I got happy. I didn't just read, everybody say, I didn't pray and, I didn't do none of that shit. I got up and I did a physical act. I did a bunch of physical things. That happiness only comes after you make shit happen. So you people are sitting at home and they are unhappy watching Love and Hip Hop and the basketball wives. Get the fuck off the sofa, turn the TV off, get your ass up, and make shit happen. That's what I do every day. I make shit happen. Then I'm thankful that I'm in my right mind and activity of my limbs that I'm able to make shit happen. So when you combine those two and then you say that I am, now before I got this house, I used to say the same thing. So now I'm saying I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that I'm able to generate $1,000 a day, posting TikTok videos, posting social media, and doing pay-per-view shows. I am so fucking happy. And then I do this show. And I talk about the class that's coming in October. And I'm telling you what's going to be in the class that's going to change your fucking life. And I'm grateful that you're going to join me. What am I doing? I'm calling those things that are not as though they were. What is that? That's magic. So I'm manipulating my reality right now. I'm manipulating my reality. I did shit. How many videos did I do this morning? I did like 10 videos this morning. Go to my TikTok page. Why? I'm changing reality. What am I doing? I'm increasing my revenue by putting more hooks in the water, so to speak. So the kid walks in there that she had the same thing, that she did the same thing this morning, which is magic is awareness, man. Y'all just go through life, you're not fucking aware of how you fucking feel. Deep enough. Everybody's aware. But what's the secret that they teach in secret societies? They teach energy quality evaluation methods. Don't tell nobody I told you. This is what they call direct energy transformation. Later on this year, I'm going to teach direct energy transformation. I'm going to teach you how to increase what is called variable energy flow, which is what I just told you. That's one of the techniques. Now, that shit, I got thousands of them. During the class in October, I'm going to give you 21 hooks. 21. That means every day you do a video, you should do a different hook. That's what it's called, attention getting. But dominant culture do it. That's why niggas watch TV. That's why niggas wear skinny jeans. That's why every black man walking around that's under the age of about 30 got his hair up in the butt. That NFL dudes. I saw Russell Westbrook in a dress. What the fuck? Are you serious? This dude? What? Man, I can't make it up. Why? Nigga was programmed. Who programmed him? I can program anybody. You can too. That's why this is so dangerous. That's why they don't teach it. If you access inner magic, this is what I'm teaching. This is what I'm breaking down. Because this happens all the time, whether you're thinking about it or not. Whether you know about it or not, guess what? Somebody is using magic on you. Now, you can gain inner magic from your food that you consume, from your clothes that you wear, from the music that you listen to, from the people that you hang around from the books that you read, from shows like this that you are listening to, because they're going to either expand or they're going to extrapolate your energy. When you drive in your car, why did I drive that car? Why did I buy a $100,000 car that only got 2 seats in it? Increase my income. It's fucking working. I already knew it was going to work. Why? Because I've gained energy from it. The same way I get energy from the sun. I walk my black ass outside in the morning and I put my feet in the dirt. I'm sure the neighbors be looking at me because it's crazy because I noticed, first because the way the house is built was kind of messed up. So it's kind of on like a hill. And I asked the builder, so we're at the top of the hill. So from my backyard, when I walk out, I can see into everybody else's backyard. And it's I kind of feel sorry for the neighbors because if they open their blinds at night, shit, like there was an old girl I saw everything that she was doing last night, poor thing. She had the blinds open. And shit, white folks, half of them, them fuckers don't even have blinds in their windows. First thing I told the builder I want blinds and everything, said extra $5 grand. I don't give a fuck. I need blinds, bro. Because I already know. Now, I appreciate their confidence, but damn, sis, you should get you some blinds. So I thought I was a business last night. I wasn't even looking. I didn't have to walk outside. So when I go outside, they really can't see me unless I'm on the deck. Once I walk down onto the yard, the fence blocks so they can't see what I'm doing, which is good for us, but I can see them because the house is built on a hill, and we're at the very, very top. That's our house, and then there's 3 model homes for the 3 buildings. And all the other houses are pretty much below. We're at the top. As soon as you come into the subdivision, bam, first house you see is ours. I love it. That's primarily one of the reasons why I picked the house. The point being is that gives me power. It's perceived. Do you got awareness when you go pick a house? When you go to Walmart at night, do you have awareness? Now, I've been doing magic all my life. I just didn't know it. This is what made me a good cop. Now, I was a better criminal than I was a cop. But because I was a good criminal, that made me a good cop. So, number one, y'all are aware, but you're not aware enough. So, ladies, especially, you got to be aware of your attributes and characteristics that you possess. Because that's the message you're sending to me and every other dude. Now, you need to put your message in a model. Now, we're going to be breaking that down later on this year. Just make sure that your message is in a model. It's packaged in a product or a service or information. So you got the message. You're getting attention already because you got TTs in the minority though. I'm going to tell you how big or little it is. You got one. And all men are attracted to those. So your job is to be aware of that. Now, how aware are you of that? Some of y'all are keenly aware. Some of you guys, not so much. So your job is awareness. Number one, in order for you to be a high level energy manager, you got to be totally aware. If you get into a traffic confrontation, you should ask yourself why. It can't happen unless you order it. Ordering it means you drop down to its level. Doesn't mean that you say, I would have been in a traffic accident. See, an exchange of energy goes on between different levels or degrees of consciousness. Most people are not aware of how they change their degree of consciousness. So it's very important that you become aware of the power that you are releasing and the power that you're gaining. So when you understand the power, the thought game, like I do, then what you do is you can perform what they call a spell. That spelling is raising or lowering your energy yourself instead of raising or allowing someone else to raise or lower your energy. That's magic. So when you learn to control your personal energy, what's I'm looking for? Expenditure. That's money. Now, mental control of energy, some people call it meditation, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, you have to control your personal energy, which is a little different from emotions. Because the energy is before Once your energy is in motion, that's emotions. By then, it's too late. What does that mean? I'm driving, and I see the car in front of me, and I saw him speeding. He jumped around me. He flies by me real fast. I already know, because I'm aware he going to get in front of me, slam on his brakes, or he going to ride past me, give me the finger, because I'm out leaning, got my music playing, enjoying driving with my top down, and I'm a black man in a white environment. So I know the white man is pissed off just because I'm in his hood. And I'm driving a car that he thinks I shouldn't be driving. And I'm cruising when he's speeding. He went in one of his big old Texas trucks, got Trump flags everywhere. He got the Confederate flag next to the American flag. So my awareness picks up this dude pissed the fuck off. So I'm already aware. So when he pulls alongside of me, looks at me, speeds up, this is a event that actually happened, jumps in front of me, slams on his brakes, I'm in a wreck. I go the fuck around. So I can't gaslight me, man. That's magic. That's taught in secret societies. It's so simple that I don't know what's the secret. But it goes deeper than that. Now, we're talking about first space stuff. But what really gets deep, when you learn how to control the shape and the symbols, the sigils, and the rules that form the energy, with your visualization, shit, that changes the way energy appears to you. Now that's secret society shit. That's pay-per-view right there, bro. When you change with your brain the shape and the form of your visualization, you manipulate really what you see with your imagination. You don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you want it to be. Then what happens is your energy itself, it resonates with what you changed it to be. What if you could manipulate or you can change your energy to be the vibrational equivalent of God? Then you can see the world the way God sees the world. That's the end result. So awareness, that's called mind objectivity. Now that's deep, man. This is mental hacking and mind hacking. There's a book called Mind Power written by John Kehoe, Kehoe. That book is free online. That book introduced me to a lot of stuff I'm talking about today. It is free. Especially if you're not taking the class on October the 3rd, the class that we're doing on not October the 3rd, later on, like 16th or 17th. Why? Number one, mind objectivity is opening your mind to gain insight and foresight into not only your circumstances, but the circumstances of other people. And it gives you the ability to change visually shapes and symbols. That shapes and symbols means vibrations. That's number one. And then it matches the brain, which I'll be breaking down later. Number two. 2 and 3, very easy, but awareness is number one. After awareness, or what we call mind objectivity, there's something called mind subjectivity. Now, these are terms taken from the Rosicrucians and secret societies. This is their terms. I got different terms, which I'll be breaking down during my show, and to simplify it. So, mind subjectivity. Because we already broke down mind objectivity. So mind subjectivity is that means that this exists only in your mind. This simply means that thinking about a subject rather than an object. So we got mind objectivity. Now we got mind subjectivity. Now, both of those are courses in themselves. Deep shit. For today's message, excuse me, the subjective mind is only able to reason what they call deductively. But the objective mind that we talked about earlier today is a little different from the subjective mind. They both are very, very similar, but there are differences. The key for you to understand is one is externally, the other one is internally. So it starts off with the object. What is the object of your obsession? Then we look at the subject. What is the subject of your obsession? And then we go, you go deeper into subjective reality. Now remember, this stuff is only taught in secret societies. Then the third, when you are able to do objective and subjective, you've mastered the game. Because consciousness is viewed either subjectively or objectively. Your job is to be able to do both. You got to be able to view reality subjectively and objectively. What we're doing is breaking down the word awareness, which is number 2, which gives us what we call consciousness. So now I have consciousness. So I have objective, subjective. Number 3 is what they call mind superconsciousness. So now you put on the mind of God. You put on the mind of Christ. Let this mind be in you. All I just explained to you using secret society language is, okay, how do I be the same vibration as God? The same vibration of God is, remember, that's 12 steps. I'm just using the big terms to break it down. Because what we're talking about is speaking and spelling. Now, I'm speaking right now, but before I learned how to speak, I had to learn how to spell. Or let me rephrase that. I'm spelling right now, but before I learned how to cast a spell, I had to learn how to speak that spell. So speaking and spelling in His image is the name of the game. Right now, you're speaking and spelling in your image, meaning you got your own dream, you got your own goals, you got your own awareness, but you're not speaking according to the Rose Cross, according to the Rosicrucians. In other words, you're not speaking and spelling on God level. You haven't done what Jesus did. When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, He was like, man, you know what? Shit, I don't know if I want to do this. He said, well, you know what? Nevertheless, not my will, W-H-E-E-L. So He changed His life optimization circle. You start off with the 12 that I gave you. Remember, we're talking about the 12 centers, the 12 degrees of consciousness. You got a life optimization circle. I got one, but God got one. Source. What happens when you take your life optimization circle and you choose to lay it down? Remember what the Bible says? You supposed to, deny yourself, pick up your cross, follow me. Where's the cross? That's the life optimization circle, because the life optimization circle was at the center of the circle. Fucking crossroads. So I came to those crossroads on January 1st of 2009. When I laid down my will, and I said, nevertheless, not my will, W-H-E-L, or W-I-L-L, thymic order, but your will. So then I asked, okay, Big G, so God doesn't appear to people until they establish super consciousness. That's when most Christians are not saved. So the only way to get saved is that you worship yourself. If you worship Jesus, Jesus is saved. You're not. Why? You don't have precognition. The Bible calls it discernment. So I can tell shit's going to happen before it happens. And then I can change it. I can manipulate energy. So when I picked up the energy that, damn, these fools are actually not going to allow us to purchase this home. Now remember, twice before this home, I had lost my earnest money deposit and down payment and stuff. About $5,000 each property. So that's like $10,000. Poof, gone. Both of those deals I pulled out of. So if you pull out, what happens? Well, you lose your money. So this one, because it was a build, and I put in what I wanted, so it met all of my requirements. So I was what? My energy level, because I made it happen. So I was happy because I made it happen. And I was grateful that I was in a position to make it happen. Bam, that's why it manifests. If you are happy and you are grateful, bam, it happens. If you got those two, you get the three. Say it again. Now you can say, I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that I am blank. That doesn't mean shit. Now it's good. That's a start. Every morning you want to wake up. That's what I do every morning. I'm happy. Now, when you use those words, there's 1,000 ways of saying, because whatever you say, that's a seance. So I do a seance every day. That means a ritual that I perform on myself to manifest or manipulate subatomic particles. You can manipulate your reality. Now, we broke it down according to Tom Bearden yesterday. And I explained to you that he wrote a book called The Final Secret of Free Energy. Then he created Nikola Tesla 3 Gen. We ain't even go into that yet. So he created maskless displacement current. That's a technical term. The ability to take something that is maskless, displace its current to charge a capacitor. In other words, you and I, we are electrical capacitors. So he figured out a way to transport real electrical magnetic energy across what they're trying to do at Project CERN, the gap. Everybody has a synaptic gap. It's in your brain. So he created, put two plates and figured out a way where subatomic particles could bridge the gap, but protons, neutrons, and electrons could not bridge the gap. This is called flow or energy. What do they call it? They call it the vacuum, but it's basically, the technical term is, they created a cosmological feedback loop. Right now, you got a negative habit feedback loop. Or you got a dopamine feedback loop. Some people even got a positive feedback loop. Well, this fool figured out how to create a cosmological feedback loop. It is a flow of energy exchange that's not energy. Its source, he created he called it a source antenna that creates freely driven, unlimited, free energy that doesn't have what it's called work-free what's the word he used? Dissipation. Dissipation. Free. That means that the capacitor, remember, we are all electrical capacitors. A capacitor is just something that basically holds energy. Your bones is nothing but full of energy. But remember, electricity and magnetism is dead energy. It's decaying energy. It loses. Scalar energy does not. So, free energy transport device, that's you and me. But they told us to use protons, neutrons, and electrons. But the dominant culture knows that you're supposed to use muons. And so these subatomic particles, quarks, quinons, and muons, that's what they talk about in Hebrews 11:3. They create what's called a charged capacitor. So you have the ability to switch on your collected energy and become a charged capacitor. That simply means that your energy that you discharge creates what they call a load that allows you not to lose or displace energy. Simply means that your energy is never depleted. That's a technical term. In English, that's where we get abracadabra. I create what I speak. That just simply means that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So, in conclusion, this God or mind superconsciousness comes from mind objectivity, mind subjectivity produces mind supertivity or superconsciousness. This activates what is called your mind superpowers. Now, the dominant culture, secret societies, man, they get deep in the superconscious mind. It's good and it's bad because it created what they call mind magic. It creates a magnetic mind. The most dangerous thing you can have is a magnetic mind. The most dangerous thing you can have is a magnetic mind. Superconsciousness, that means you got mental fortitude. The dark side of mental fortitude, as I found out, you got mental fortitude. That means you have a evolved consciousness. That means if you fuck up and latch on to the wrong thing, you pretty much toast. Super consciousness, you become so magnetic, so psychic. The psychic mechanisms draw. And so you can manifest things that you really don't want. You have a, how can I put it delicately? Fantasy. You have a, damn, I wonder what that's like. Damn, you just ordered it. So when I first started doing this, yeah, it really, like I tell everybody, be careful what you ask for. Because you will get it. Unfortunately, when you get it, you ain't gonna want it. Now you're gonna say to yourself the same thing I said. I literally thought that was a better version. That was, what did we talk about? Wealth, health, wisdom, or relationship. How much money you are designed for and how much money you greed for is two different things. At the superconscious level, that just simply means that all three parts of the brain are working together. You have the ability to acquire knowledge through non-physical mechanisms. That's how I get it. That simply means that you do what Elon Musk does. You use what they call, the dominant culture call it psychic. Whether you call it psychic or not, up to you. Because psychic just simply means extrasensory perception. ESP. It means that you're able to tap into clairvoyance. That simply means psychokinetics, teleportation, precognition. This is what like Edgar Casey and, Isaac Crowley, all of these guys. The dark side of this is, actually, if I'm honest, you just self-delusional. Remember what I said, magic is basically lying to yourself. You lie to yourself so much that your brain says, give this Negro what he wants. That's a superpower. That's psychic. So your psychic powers allows you to be what I call a psychic detective. As a psychic detective, you got what's called pre and post cognition. So you know what's going to happen before it happens, you know what's going to happen while it's happening, and you know what's going to happen after it happens. So I tell my wife this all the time. Sometimes I don't want to know. So once you become self-delusional, you now have a fixed belief. And this fixed belief is based upon, I'm going to use the word, a perception. But what if your perception is off or wrong? Now, the problem with establishing superconsciousness is your precognition, your psychic seeing, makes you acutely aware of events in the future. Precognition. You literally can then tell people or tell yourself, and then what does it do? It literally changes what you are conscious of. Precognition is what they call remote viewing. It's just energy impressions. It doesn't mean that it happened, but with your influence, with your seance, with your saying, you are communicating, because you know the word sayings, or the word seance and sayings, it means session. It means to sit. That's why certain TV programs are called sitcoms. Sitcom. Sitcalm. So what that means is when you look at it from an esoteric, so what I'm doing, which is why it works, which is what they teach in the secret society, they teach you how to communicate with spirits so that way you can perform a session that allows you to sit calm. That's what Daniel did when he was in the lion's den. That's what Jonah did in the belly of the whale. That's what Moses did when he was up against the Red Sea. That what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did when they was in the fiery furnace. They was able to, in the midst of adversity, they was able to sit calm. It means that you have the ability to receive messages from the spirit realm or from a medium of exchange. It's called a mediumship. The practice of meditating is the practice of communicating between familiar spirits. Familiar means family liar. That's why I don't meditate. I know my family. I ain't interested in communicating with my family or my ancestors. Now, I know there's a lot of other people out there that do. Because if my family was, let's say, high benevolent, whatever that term is for you, then sure, you may want to meditate. You want to sit calmly and listen to their advice. Now, if you could talk to a deceased family member, would you? And if so, what would be the conversation? If you could talk to your guru, if you could literally talk to Jesus Christ, would you talk to him? Because that's what you're doing. So I could go deeper into spiritual unfolding consciousness, manipulating reality with the precursor to engineering. Unlocking your energetic quality to think, feel, and act, to write, and write, to understand that you're made in the image and the likeness, which means that God speaks, so speaking is creating. Because God said, let there be light, and bam, that was light. So you can say, I'm so happy and grateful that I am a millionaire, and bam, the moment you say it, bam, you are it. Because you're communicating with the frequency wave of vibration, which is called a mediumship, which is just nothing but communicate between where you are right now and where you want to be. Mediumship is called spirit channeling. That's what a seance is. That's what a saying is. That's what speaking is. That's what I'm doing right now. So a series of seances is what the movies called a series. So when you go on Netflix and you watching a series, what you are doing is communicating with whatever was in the mind of that producer at the time that they create the movie. It's going to allow you to sit calmly. That's why when you watch a movie, when you go to the movies, you pay your $16, you get your popcorn and your soda, and you sit in the movie, and if there's some fool behind you laughing and joking and making a burn, you go back, yo, hey, excuse me, bro. I can't hear the movie, man. I'm here, I pay my money. I just want to sit calmly and communicate with the spirits in that movie. Movie. Move me. Movies move me. That's why you watch them. We don't even break down the word watchers. So all of this saying, we could keep going. And this goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And if you're a Christian, you're already scared. If you're not a Christian, you're happy as hell. Because all I did is I just explained to you how to connect with what we call spirits, which is nothing but what? A disembodied sprite. A spirit is a sprite. It's a genie. It's a mojo. What does that mean? What? Like my daughter Shamora, she's not here in the physical. So that means she is a sprite, a disembodied spirit. It's a spirit that don't have a body. You're a spirit. You just got a body. When you die, you're going to be a disembodied spirit. Your ass is going to have a body. So you can inhabit somebody else's, or you can go on to, there's a whole nother dimension where all disembodied spirits live. So you're supposed to go there. But some spirits get trapped in this dimension, so they become angry and upset because they got conned. They went into the light. And then Lucifer, the light tricker, tricked them into getting stuck down here. And so they become ghosts and goblins and all this mystical shit that everybody's afraid of. They didn't start off like that. So that's why you're supposed to walk through the valley of shadow of death. You don't fear nothing, because why? You're talking to somebody that's just like you. A spirit or a ghost and a goblin and all of this mystical shit, they just disembodied, they sprite. So what's the point, Doc, of all of this? The point of all of this, brothers and sisters, is you're supposed to align your mind with your God-given design. So my energetic qualities is my entity qualities. I got 12 of them in my life optimization circle. So those qualities and attributes, those are spirits. They are embodied inside of a symbol and a sigil. So when you see the number 1, that's a disembodied sprite or spirit that was given to you by God to assist you. But we mystify it, and we all demoned up, and we all churched up, and we scared as fuck. Not knowing that the thing you're scared of is here to help you. So let's say you got letters in your name, right? We all do. But we got a conundrum. So Sister Veronica, is the letter V, is that evil? I mean, her name is Veronica. Each one of those are a spirit. Now, the problem is we don't know what that means. Most of us. So, just like a hammer is an evil. A letter, which is a fetter, which is a chain, is not evil. Do you know that the letter V means hook? So the Veronica, do you know the letter V means hook? It's W-A-W, wah, in Hebrew. The Hebrew alphabet for the sound that it makes, va, or V, like violin, like vibe, like vibe. And so not the problem is that if you don't know what letters mean, we don't even know what they are. We just use stuff without investigating that stuff, like salt and pepper. If you put salt on your food, what is that? What does that do to your food? And so everything in this life, we are ignorant. Not everything, but a lot of things. Magic is awareness. Is that evil? Is me being conscious evil? The church says it is. So they used to crucify witches because they exuded God-like creative power. They could generate, operate, and direct. They understand the hidden power that the doctrines of the Rosicrucians only taught back then. And they could create what they speak. They could control the 12 degrees in their circle. That's why all witches and wizards and scary movies, they have a circle. And they got candles and they burn the candles because smells are spells. Don't tell nobody I told you. If you can smell it, what's it doing to your brain? Positive and negatively. Smells. That's why we use seasoning on our food. Because taste, smell, your five senses. Are they helping you? Or are they hindering you? Tomorrow we'll go a little bit further down the rabbit trail. Continue to do, I said tomorrow, what do I mean tomorrow? Yeah, but later on tonight, I'll do a part 2 and go a little bit deeper into the other 3 areas. We really spent a lot of time on number 1, which is self-awareness and self-observation. We're going to break down number 2 and number 3 to give you an understanding of the science and the metaphysics behind how you are actually creating what you think. Because thinking, again, is saying. So we want to really go a little bit further down the cross, break down what we're actually doing when we are communicating with, or we are performing a session, or we choose to sit. The quest is uni sion dia sintema. That is a esoteric term. Uni, U-N-I, seance or seance, S-E-A-N-C-E-D-D-E, sintema, C-I-N-E-M-A. That phrase is, we'll break it down later on tonight. I love you. Okay, and then you can do bye. We're going to see y'all later tonight. God bless.